Hey, Lane, good to see you.
Good to see y'all. Damn, Howard's got him a damn castaway beard.
I want to ask you about you have a new running partner there with JP next to you this year, and you probably haven't done a lot together so far, but the pads come on tomorrow. How do you see that progress going with you and him?
It's been going good so far. I mean, he's such a great athlete. I think the transition comes easier than most. So really just getting the reps in as much as we can right now. We're on limited time, so really getting as much reps in right now in practice and trying to make up for lost ground, we didn't have in the spring. So, but it's been fun.
Go ahead, Dave, and then Paul Domowich.
Hey, Lane, good to see you there and healthy. What was your whole situation like with COVID, and what were those days like when you weren't able to be in the building?
Well, I was lonely. I had to sit at the house and be forced to watch Netflix. So, man, really, when I had it, I felt like I was catching a fever. I didn't have a fever. I just had body aches for a couple of days, and then really after that, I was fine. But yeah, I got bored at the house, man. I got really bored, so I'm glad to be back in the building the past few days.
What was the testing process like? I mean, did you know you might have had it when you got tested, or was it kind of a surprise?
No, I figured I may have had it just because I had chills. I didn't have a fever, but I was just wasn't feeling too good. Got tested, and the next day got notified, and then quarantined up, and then back in the building. But yeah, really, it was just first 2 days didn't feel too good, but after that, it wasn't all that bad.
Go ahead, Paul, and then Zach Berman.
Hey, Lane. Hey, let's talk pre-COVID for a second. The fact that you couldn't be here for OTAs because of the pandemic, it looked like you trained pretty hard at your place down in Texas. From judging from the Instagram pictures, you've kind of reshaped your body a little bit. Tell me about the whole process of how hard you worked out this off season.
Yeah, as far as weight, man, I'm the heaviest I've been. I'm right at around 330, a little bit above. So feeling strong. I mean, we had a lot of time, on our hands to work out. As far as guys coming and training, we had a few guys on the team that came and trained with me, and really, I mean, that's all we could do. Stayed in the house a lot. Stayed quarantined up. Watched the Tiger King a few times, and that's about it.
Go ahead, Zach, and then Ruben Frank.
Hey, Lane, what's your expectation for tomorrow compared to the first day of pads in previous years? And what are you expecting training camp to be like overall?
Man, really, with training camp, it's just, I mean, it's a damn dogfight every day, if we're being honest. First couple of days we're out there, running plays on air. Trying to get that down, and then tomorrow's, we can make full contact. We can kind of fire off in the run game. So, really first day of pads doesn't really change anything for me except I can fire off in the run game. But, it's been a while since we've done this. So, it feels good just to be out here with the guys, seeing everybody and, really stuff we may take it for granted. We're just happy to be around each other and enjoying that right now.
Rube and then John McMullen.
Hey, Lane, good to see you.
See you.
How tough is it going to be without the whole off season, with very limited live periods in training camp, with no preseason games, to kind of hit the ground running on September 13th and be in kind of game mode?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of, off season, they put it up to us. I mean, to show up in shape. That's part of being a professional. I mean, it's your job title is to show up in shape and be ready to roll, man. I mean, as far as, everybody else in the league going through the same stuff and really – I think the team that best deals with adversity is going to be the team that does the best. So right now, just taking one day at a time, getting everybody healthy, and then, really these next 2 weeks trying to, we're going to have lots of live scrimmages, lots of full contact to try to simulate, the preseason that's not there. So, I mean, we're trying to make up for lost time right now. So these next couple of weeks are going to be, good for us.
John and then Jeff McLean.
Hey, Lane, glad you're feeling better. The continuity aspect on the offensive line, the fact that you're so close to Brandon on and off the field, and the offensive line as a whole, because you have a few moving parts that maybe you guys aren't used to with Andre and Jason moving. Do you think this sort of expedited process makes that more difficult?
It is more difficult. I mean, in a perfect world, we would love to have the spring to have this time to acclimate. obviously you can't replace a Brandon Brooks, man, who's, coming off the season he had. I expect him really to do the same thing. A guy who knows how to deal with adversity and work his way back. But, it's a tough blow losing him. Good thing about Jason Peters, he's a great athlete, so he can, accommodate, their guard. But really, man, like I said, these next 2 weeks are going to be important for us. We're going to try to simulate live game situations, I think, a lot in these next couple of weeks. And then, before you know it, we're playing the Redskins. So, yeah, I mean, we're trying to make up on lost ground right now.
Jeff and then Les.
Lane, what have you seen out of Andre Dillard in terms of differences in how he's looked physically and how he's looked practicing the few times that you guys have been out there on the field?
Yeah, he's looked good, man. He's picked up some weight. He's around 325, 330 compared to what he was last year. I think, what did he say, 305, 310. So he's looking good. He's more filled out. He's a specimen as far as an athlete. And like I said, man, just the more he plays, the better he's going to get. But right now, man, he's looking good. Special athlete, and the more he plays, the better he's going to be.
Go ahead, Les, and then Tim McMahon.
Hey, Lane.
What up?
Good to see you. So were you in Oklahoma when you tested positive, or were you here already?
I was here.
Okay, so how do you think you have any idea how you contracted it?
I think WIP said I got it eating the chicken wings. So, man, really, I tested negative there. Before all that, during, we got tested multiple times. I got tested when I came back. Felt really good, man. But if I had to blame somebody, I'm gonna put it on Nate Gary, because I was feeling fine until he showed up and came and worked out with me. So Nate Gary gets all the 100% to blame.
How much of a relief was it to get past that and test negative? And were you concerned at all during that time? And what was that time like when you were kind of
Yeah, the first couple of days just didn't feel so well. But, after that, I felt okay. I got bored, people in here in the building, doing stuff, walkthroughs and all that. And I'm sitting there at the house, so just kind of feeling stranded. But got through that, and, we had to do everything virtually as far as meetings. So once that all passed up, I'm just glad to be back in the building, man, instead of being at the house. I got tired of sitting at the damn house, so feels good to be back.
Go ahead, Tim, and then Rob Kessner.
What's up, Lane? What have your conversations been like with JP so far? You get the sense that he's picking up on guard pretty quickly here, and what's the biggest challenge in front of him?
Yeah, a lot of stuff is different from guard to tackle. So, as far as different assignments, really it's just communication. So, even in meetings, a lot of our stuff goes through Kelsey. So, JP's getting good with him with his communication with Kelsey, and then, us two are trying to pick up on the same page. But, yeah, man, as far as the meetings right now, we're making up lost ground. We're covering a lot of stuff. The rookies are learning a lot of stuff on the fly. So, whereas they have a lot of time in the spring to hit the ground running, man, it's been tough. But to their credit, man, they've been really good as far as picking up stuff, very smart, and as far as the practices have been going, they've been looking really good.
Rob Kessner and then Bo Wolf.
Lane, what's up, man? Good to see you.
Good to see y'all.
Two things. One, you mentioned Brandon Brooks. He's at least hinted around on social media that there is a possibility he could actually be back this year. You talk to him, is that a real thing in your mind? And then secondly, when you talk about the teams overcoming adversity and how that's going to be a huge factor in who wins this year, it feels like the teams that take the COVID thing seriously and don't have outbreaks and stay healthy really have an upper hand. As a veteran, how do you convey that to the guys that you're going to play with?
First question with Brandon. Yeah, I can see him coming in later in the year. As far as his recovery's going, I know he's ahead of schedule. He's looking good. I think he changed his diet up, trying to optimize that recovery and trying to, come back as soon as he can. So I could definitely see that happening. And then far as, this the whole COVID thing, so, far as us, I think there is penalties for guys that come out. I think you've seen in Major League Baseball, a lot of guys contracting it, going out in town, doing stuff like that. So as far as that's concerned, I think we'll do a lot of self-policing with that. And then really, just like you said, it's going to come down to who's more disciplined, I think, as far as the season progresses and who can stay out of this thing and stay healthy.
Go ahead, Bo, and then Bob Groats.
Hey, Lane. I'm curious what you had heard about Jalen Hurts from your Oklahoma connections throughout the process. How much you watched him over the past year, and what you think he could bring to the offense if he is a part of the offense.
Yeah, I mean, he's a dynamic athlete. I know he came from Texas, so fellow Texas guy. Super strong, man. He's powerful, great athlete. I think one thing that I like is just his transition from Alabama to Oklahoma, how he handled that situation. A lot of poise with him. I think as far as him coming in the offense, he throws a good ball. But right now, just like I said, a lot of guys didn't have the OTA period, or everybody didn't have the OTA period. So right now, man, we're soaking a lot of knowledge, the whole playbook, and then trying to convey it there on the field. So right now, a lot of guys' heads are spinning, so we're doing our best to try to help them out and keep them going. But he's been looking really good, really sharp.
Had you heard any good stories from your Oklahoma connections?
Man, I just know he's a hard worker. Talking to the guys down there, that's about it. Nothing, no good stories. I think the singing the other day was pretty good, though. I was pretty impressed by that.
We'll go Bob and then Howard Eskin.
Hey, Lane, how you doing?
What up?
Lane, I'm sure teammates are asking you, for your speculation, how you actually got COVID and what to do, how to avoid it. What do you tell them?
Stay inside. I mean, from where I was staying pretty much completely isolated. We had the O-line summit. I had that about 3 weeks before I tested positive. So other than that, really, as far as the precautions we have in the building, we have testing every day, including our days off. Must wear masks usually at all times. And, as far as cafeteria, we have our own tent set up outside, so no eating inside. You can eat in the tents or in the car. So a lot of stuff is taking place, so I think that'll be mandated all year. So as far as the system now, now that everything's started, I think we can keep a better hand on it.
Got time for a couple more, so we'll do Howard, Chris, and then Daniel.
Lane, to follow up on that, stop laughing. To follow up on that a little bit, have you guys as a team, when you talk to each other, there's only that I know of on your team one player that's opted out. Have you had discussions about the possibilities of other guys, being you were one that tested positive? How many discussions and have you talked about that, about the players playing this season?
Yeah, I think early on, right now we're still getting accommodated. But, at first, really coming into training camp, I feel like a lot of people didn't have any clue what was going to go on. A lot of fear, a lot of uncertainty. So, I can see with Marquise, has I believe a newborn daughter, so trying to keep her healthy. So, yeah, there's a lot of uncertainty. And I think you saw early before the opt-out date, people were, not sure. So we did have those discussions. But moving forward, the more that we met, I feel like we can have a better handle on it now that we're, back to work and the protocols are mandated.
Thanks.
All right, Chris and Daniel.
Hey, Lane. Can you give your initial thoughts on what you've seen so far from Jack Driscoll and Prince?
Yeah, man, both those guys are very smart. I think it's the first thing that popped off to me. Not having the OTAs, not having that time. They came in and have learned stuff really quickly. So, as far as taking it from the classroom to the field, they're doing that. And, just adjusting to the speed of the game. The speed's a little bit faster here at this level. So, but other than that, man, they've been looking really good in practice. They're both pretty physical. But first thing that popped off to me was just their intelligence, how they picked up the offense really quickly. And usually when you can do that, you're going to be a good player.
Go ahead, Daniel.
Hey, Lane, earlier this spring, Carson talked about kind of taking on a little bit more of a leadership role. He's one of the more veteran guys now at this point. What have you seen from Carson so far in camp, and what are your expectations for him this year?
Yeah, first of all, he looks good. I think he's bulked up around 250, looking good. Yeah, as far as being more vocal, I think breaking us out after practice, before practice, becoming more of a vocal leader. But really, far as his approach, I don't think nothing's really changed. As far as his work ethic, and what he displays every day in the building, nothing's really changed with that. But as far as his mentality, being more vocal, he's gotten better at that. And then, as far as his weight, man, he looks really good, 250. So he's got some of that dad bod weight on, so he looks good.
Hey, Will, thanks for taking the time out today. Obviously, unprecedented kind of off season. What's been the challenge for you, or the biggest challenge of trying to acclimate new team, new defense, new system in this particular off season?
Obviously, with everything going on, it's been pretty tough on, the world as a whole. But I think, the coaches and the players are doing a good job as far as honing us new guys into the defense and giving us a bigger overall aspect on what's to be going on, what's designed to be played, and everything else, so forth and so on. So I think, everybody doing a good job as far as picking up on, the small things, because the defense as a whole, Schwartz is doing a good job of putting us in a lot of things, a lot of different coverages, a lot of different sets. For guys like me, that's pretty much all over the field. I got to, hone in more to the playbook and stuff like that. But I think everything's going pretty smooth right now.
Go ahead, Dave, and then John McMullen.
Hey, Will. Darius Slay is obviously a guy who's earned a reputation in the league as being one of the top corners.
Absolutely.
Have you gotten a chance to know him a little bit better, and what do you think of his game? Initial impressions of it.
Oh man, we all know Slay. Lockdown #1, follow your #1 all around the field. I think Slay had a pretty good 2 days thus far in practice. Going out there and do what he does best, locking down and doing the necessary things that we need him to do to play defense for us. But I think Slay is a guy who wants to get better. So when you got a lot of guys like that in the room, start from the top with guys who already know Slay. I think that speaks dividends to the competitiveness that he has.
John, and then Chris Franklin.
Hey, Will, saw in the off season at times you got to work out a little bit with Rodney and even Malcolm before he left. How's that room working out for you when you talk about the safeties and the relationships you're building there?
Oh man, it's been night and day, man. Just with a guy like Rob who's been in the system for so long, and obviously Mills and even we got a chance to work out with Jenk a little bit. Obviously he's on a new team and us for it, but I think that's been at my advantage. Being with those guys in the off season, being able to dive into to the plays and building that chemistry back there in the back end, I think it's working out for us, man. I'm pretty excited.
Chris Franklin, and then Rob Kessner.
Hey, well, you've been heavily involved with Philly ceasefire in your time as an athlete, and there's been a recent uptick when it came to violence, especially involving young people in the city. I mean, what's going through your mind right now seeing all this stuff?
I don't know. It's crazy, you know what I mean? I just lost one of my homies 2 weeks ago to some gunshot wounds to the head. So it just speaks to the crisis that's going on now. Everything is easy to obtain to. It's easy to grab a gun. It's easy to do the wrong thing nowadays than it is to do the right thing. So I think that's where I come in at, and obviously being home and be a little bit closer more to the task. I think I can help out more, be a little bit more hands on. Even now, trying to FaceTime with my guys and Zoom calls with my guys. That's obviously I had canceled football seasons and stuff like that. It's gonna be a little bit more harder for them. I got a little brother who's out there right now, running around and stuff like that. So I think I just got to dive into more and just keep my heart involved, and obviously get guys, even Ertz, walking up to me, asking me kind of a similar question like that. So that just shows you that people around here caring for you to ask as well. So I think it's definitely that's a pandemic within itself. Obviously within Philadelphia, with all the violence and stuff going on, man. But we can't keep talking about it. We gotta do something about it.
Go ahead, Rob. Zach Berman.
Hey, Will. Hope you're well, man. A couple things. You mentioned Zach Ertz. I thought he had a really powerful statement with us, unprompted, when he started talking about high school football and what it meant to him and what he was going through personally, and without it, what it would have been if he had to go through a year like what it looks like in the pub they're going to have to do, and maybe other leagues across the city. I'm just curious your feeling about that, what it means to kids if they don't get a chance to play football, and I don't know, any suggestions on what other things they can do with their time and the city can do to help kids if they're not going to get football every day?
To be honest, brother, I think, and that's a good question, bro. I think we have to do something now to create, plans or strategies or different ways to attack these kids. Obviously with the governor, putting a halt to that, I think it's going to be super hard for kids to pay attention to to doing different things. You know, some of these kids all they have is football. You know, some of these kids, you know, going out to the football field, you know, that's or going to school. You know, that's the way that some of those kids eat out here. You know what I mean? I could speak first foremost hands-on, having experience with that. You know what I mean? So, and I got a little brother and little brothers who are out there playing football right now. Martin Luther King and one of my little dudes he just went up to Villanova. I got a couple people at Emmelton. I mean, I'm all over with the city. So, them kids don't have football. So now you look at it like, what's next now? You know what I mean? Like, we all know what's going on outside right now. Like, these kids are just killing each other left and right. Number 2 in the murder rate is unbelievable. So, I mean, you asking for more of that, or you asking for a change? And the change is, you know, obviously, like even now, I'm trying to do a back to school job, but it's like kids not even going to school. So what I'm gonna do? I'm trying to, you know, configure some money for like an iPad drive or, you know, something for kids who don't have electronics or things to, you know, that have to do with schoolwork. Man, it's gonna be hard, bro. I'm not even gonna lie. It's gonna be super hard to see what's going on. But I think for people like me with a platform, I could help that situation out.
Thank you. Zach, and then Daniel Gallen.
Hey, Will, in your time since signing and being back in Philadelphia, have there been any examples or stories that you've encountered that shows that it's different being back as a member of the Eagles as opposed to being a Bronco coming back home?
Yeah, man, I'm a Philadelphia Eagle now. You know what I'm saying? So I was excited when I signed, and obviously when I signed, it was a lot of love and stuff like that. But I love the football culture here, man. It's awesome, bro. Like, you know, it's Super Bowl or nothing. You know what I mean? So that's the kind of team I wanted to be a part of. That's the kind of organization I wanted to help win games. And obviously I'm here now, and I'm doing everything I can to put myself in situations that way the team know they can trust me. Whether it's you know, and I'm all over the field. You know what I mean? So it's just a matter of, you know, honing into details and being able to pick up on small things, whether it's on the field, off the field. And like I said, man, or just organization is second to none, brother. Even from the top down, you know, with the GM being at every practice, you know what I mean? That speaks dividends to, you know, how much everybody loves football. When you got a guy that's a GM at practice, obviously moving down the ladder, you know, everybody else has to be there. So it's all love, man. I can't wait to, you know, obviously putting on the pads tomorrow and stuff like that. So it's gonna be exciting. It's exciting to see what unfolds.
Go ahead, Daniel, and then Les Bowen.
Hey, Will. I think a couple weeks ago on Twitter, you expressed. Thanks, man.
That's decent.
I'm due for a cut. A couple weeks ago on Twitter, you expressed how, you know, coming to play football, you know, during COVID, during the pandemic, was really a no-brainer for you because of the community that you come from and the circumstances that you've been in. What was kind of your thought process with that decision, with COVID, and kind of all of this stuff that's kind of happening at once?
Man, I'm not even gonna lie, brother. I think I had an advantage. You know what I mean? Obviously, being home, I'm aware of you know, a lot of fields, a lot of space to train, different places to go and eat, you know, and stuff like that. You know, having more of a family environment around me, being able to protect me as well as far as doing the right thing. So I think I use that as an advantage, bro. Obviously, I trained the whole time. Obviously, I stayed safe and made sure that, you know, people were around me safe. You know, being COVID free and stuff like that. But I think you know, I use it to my advantage, bro. It was definitely awesome to be able to train here and stay here and not really be able to go anywhere, obviously for the reasons that we all know. But I think it definitely helped. I think I'm in the best shape I've ever been in. You know, people around me are in the best shape they've ever been in. You know, the team is here. You know, they're bringing us in. All the new guys. So I think you know, like I said, man, it's gonna be exciting to see exactly, you know, where this thing goes, man. Because guys are just putting in work. You know, obviously myself putting in work, but you know, I'm just excited to see all the guys together. You know, we get to play football. You know, that's all I'm worried about right now.
We got time for a couple more, so we'll go Les, EJ, and then Bo.
Hi, Will. I was wondering, you talked the last time we spoke with you back in March about your versatility, how you can play nickel, you can play safety. So what have they got you doing right now in practice? Like, where are you in Jalen alternating at the safety spot, or what's going on there?
I'm everywhere. Down, quarter, both safeties, I'm everywhere. You know, I'm all over the field, you know. And that's what I take pride in. I done lined up probably everywhere on the field in the last 2 practices. You know, just that just speaks to, you know, the way they expect me, or my role is to what to be expected here. So, you know, I probably have a lot on my plate, and things of that sort. But I'm a guy who likes challenges. I wouldn't want them to want me to be here if I didn't want that role, or you know what I mean. I'm here to win a championship. I'm here to help win a championship. So that's gonna be my role.
Was it hard to learn all those in this defense? You haven't really played in it. You haven't even had any real spring work in it. Were you able to learn all those responsibilities?
That's to the coaches, man. Obviously, me being a 5-year vet, learning on the run, and obviously being at the the dime, back on my old team, and obviously playing a nickel, and coming in as a safety. It's not too hard, you know what I mean. If it's important to you, you'll dive in your playbook, you'll look on your iPad, you'll ask questions, you'll ask officer questions to help your job easier, you know what I mean. So, and football is important to me. It's not all I got, but it's what I love to do. You know what I'm saying? It's how I got here, and I'm trying to be a role model for not just people that I'm with, but people around me. So, I have to be on my A game at all times.
Okay, we'll do EJ and then Bo, and then we'll get Lane Johnson in here.
Hey, Will, I'm curious. What have you learned about Kayvon so far this offseason, and what's he looked like on the field so far?
He's with me a lot. Obviously, he looked good on the field. And obviously, he's a rangy guy. You definitely know he's coming down to smack something. I believe so. He has an awareness. For a guy coming in being a rookie, having awareness. He's out there today. I see him out there pointing, telling guys what to do. Hey, you go here, you go here. Obviously wanting to be a leader right now. So I definitely say Kayvon, he's picking up things pretty well.
Go ahead, Bo.
Hey, Will. There was a big emphasis on the team adding speed this offseason, both on offense and defense. I wonder if you have seen that play out. Does the defense look fast to you? And then those wide receivers, have they jumped out to you as well?
Yeah, them receivers definitely fast. Yeah, they fast. What was that movie? He said, yeah, he's real fast. Those guys fast, man. But that's making us even more in our game. You know what I mean? When you got fast guys like Jalen Rager and obviously D-Jack and but I think us in the back end, we're pretty fast too. You know what I mean? So it's definitely tracks meets out there, but we're right there with them and playing the deep balls and stuff like that. So it's a lot of competition out there right now. Obviously with practice within the first 2 days, guys are fresh and rolling around. So I look forward to the speed even more.
Hey, Boston. Good to see you.
Good to see you. Good to see you.
I know nothing's guaranteed as far as a job goes coming into a season, but you're coming into this year in a pretty good spot, I would think. And is your mindset different in any way? Are you more confident knowing that you will have a role on this team as opposed to previous years when you weren't as sure of that?
I think that it's important to have confidence, but at the same time, this is the NFL. You know what I mean? So. Literally every single year, their job is to find someone better than you. Their job is to find someone to replace you. So, the way that I approach it is pretty much the same way that I've approached it, since college, whenever I walked on. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how many opportunities I'm going to get, but the opportunities that I do get, I'm going to make the most of them.
Les and then Jeff McLean.
Hey, Boston. So you got a couple young guys in your room, undrafted guys trying to make the team. As you were drafted, but you were once a young guy, kind of on the fringe with the Saints. Is there anything you can do to help these guys in this truncated situation that they're in with no preseason games? How much harder is it than you think it was for you a few years ago? And how can you help them get ready to try to compete, I guess?
Yeah, man, and it's such a unique situation, man. I definitely feel for the free agents and the rookies in this situation, man, because those reps that you get in OTAs and in rookie minicamp are invaluable. You know what I'm saying? And so you have to be that much more on top of your assignment, knowing exactly what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? Because the first live reps that these guys have gotten has been against. You know what I'm saying? First it was on air or whatever, but now whenever we're starting to go against the defense, their first meaningful reps will be full speed, guns blazing, you know what I'm saying? And so the thing that I think about, whenever I was back in New Orleans, that kind of slowed the game down quicker for me was just making sure that I was on top of my assignments, making sure that I understood the offense and my role, and what I was supposed to be doing. So then I could, let my instincts and my talent take over from there whenever I'm going against the defense. So, I just try to encourage the guys, to continue to have confidence in themselves, Deuce has been doing a great job with coaching them up, and TJ. They've both been doing a great job of coaching them up, making sure they're in a good position, and preparing them, for these situations. So, I just try my best to, give advice where I can, but at the same time, I don't want to overdo it and just let them play their game.
Anybody doing particularly well? Any of those guys look good to you? The young
They're all
guys?
doing well. They're all doing well, man. They've been learning. They've definitely been. They have good habits, man. They take notes whenever we're in the film room. Mike, Elijah, AK, those guys, man. I'm really proud of them, man. And they're real receptive. I think that's really important as a young player to be receptive to coaching, receptive to criticism, and those guys are willing to work. Whatever it takes. So, I'm really proud of them, man. And I love having them around.
Thank you.
Go ahead, Jeff, and then Ruben.
Boston, you said obviously that you're not going to take anything for granted, but it's still a young running back room, and I guess there was speculation that they would add some sort of veteran or someone who's been proven. Do you take that as a vote of confidence that they have yet to do that?
I try not to dwell too much on what goes on from an administrative standpoint. I just do the best that I can to control what I can control, and whatever role they want me or Miles or Corey, whatever role they want us to take on, then we're willing to do that, and we're willing to put in the work. We're willing to do whatever it takes. So, at the end of the day, the opportunity is there. You just got to go and seize it. You got to go and earn it, and that's the mindset of that room, and that's the mindset of each and every one of those guys.
Go ahead, Ruben, then John McMullen.
Hey, Boston, good to see you. Can you speak about your relationship with Miles a little bit, and how you guys drive each other, how you push each other, and make each other better?
Yeah, man. Man, such a talented guy, man. He definitely takes everything that he does seriously. Man, he's a hard worker. He's very, like I said, very receptive to criticism, very receptive to coaching. And that's where it starts. You know what I'm saying? That's where you become, a great player. And I remember last year, you know what I'm saying, he had a lot of responsibility early on, as a younger back. And I remember after every game, you know what I'm saying, I continue to tell him, man, you're special. You know what I'm saying? Don't let what's going on right now or whatever, you know what I'm saying, don't let that affect you internally. You know what I'm saying? Continue to believe in yourself. Continue to be confident in who you are. You're special. That'd be after every game. And then, just being able to sit back and watch him continue to develop throughout the year and what he became and how fast he grew. And it pushed me as well. You know what I'm saying? And so I think that we just been able to build off of each other. And it's been a really cool dynamic, and honestly, Corey too, you know what I'm saying? Corey, with his work and what he's been able to come back from, you just see three guys that are, they have a fire in their heart, and they have a lot of things that they want to accomplish. Each and every one of us believe that we could be a starter. Each and every one of us want to contribute in a major way. And so, we feed off of that and we continue to work.
John, and then Zach.
Hey, Boston, good to see you. When Doug was away for those 10 days, obviously he was doing stuff virtually with you guys, but your position coach, Deuce, was in charge of the entire team on site. How do you think he handled that? And what have you seen from Deuce as just a leader and a potential future head coach in this league?
I think he did a great job, man. I think he did a great job. He's a player's coach, man, and same thing with Coach Doug P. You know what I'm saying? I think that there wasn't any drop off, there wasn't any difference. Things just continue to go as scheduled, and that's he just like we've always talked about his next man up mentality. You know what I'm saying? And that's not just from a player's perspective, but it could be in a coach's perspective too. And Deuce did his thing, did what he was supposed to do. You know what I'm saying? He motivated us. He has great things to say, snippets of wisdom. And that's just the type of man he is, man. He has that fire in his eyes, man. And he did a great job. He did a great job. I'm excited about his future, whatever that may be for him. I know whatever that looks like, he's gonna do it. He's gonna do a great job.
We have time for a couple more, so we'll do Zach, Mike, and Jimmy.
Hey, Boston, if you can take us behind the scenes, what's a day at camp like this year compared to last year in Philly and 2 years ago in New Orleans?
Um, as far as intensity, the practices are pretty similar. You know what I'm saying? Like championship caliber intensity, championship caliber attention to detail, sense of urgency, all of those types of things. Obviously, this year, it's kind of unique because of all the protocols, and doing the best that we can to do social distancing and stay away from each other, wearing masks whenever we can, and so things changed a little bit, but we've, like I said, I mean, a part of being a player, being a professional is being able to adapt. So that's really been what it was. That's what it's been. And the coaches have done a great job with it. The organization has done a great job with it. And the players have done a great job with it. And that's just who we are. That's what we do.
Okay, Mike, and then Jimmy.
Hey, Boston. Elijah Holyfield kind of entered a similar situation that you did the year before, where he was with you guys for a little bit, but got the playbook the entire offseason. I was just curious, how much did that help you having the playbook moving forward into the offseason before you were able to go into OTAs and training camp, and how much can that help him kind of progress in this offense?
I think it's big, man, because, again, like I kind of talked about, being a younger player, there's so many external factors that you have to adjust to, whenever you're going into the league and transitioning into the league. And I feel like if there's anything that you're in control of that can help you eliminate some of those factors, going into the practices, going into rookie minicamp, then you do those things. And one of those things is the playbook. You know what I'm saying? The more comfortable you are with your assignments, what you need to do, where you need to go, that allows you to then, like I said, let your talent take over, and you're able to, use your talent to, be the defender or whatever it may be. You're not thinking about, oh, am I doing the right thing? Am I going to the right place? So it's all about just controlling what you can control and eliminating, as much as you can so that you can just focus on the present moment and play football.